Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. We're back in another off season after a mildly disappointing season. I only say mildly because we underwent a lot of adversity last year, and yet still came out within a single game, a single run, in fact, of going back to the World Series for a second year. So I'm completely pleased with how we did, and we have a lot of decisions to make, which is why I actually saved decisions for this episode. Let's get right to it by deciding on options. All right. Oh, we found that Amari Eob is going to retire. He had himself an okay career. Um, had his career years with Minnesota in 2037, and he had some good years even toward the back half. But when Father Time caught up with him, he caught up with him hard. Um, and yeah, what did we get when we traded him? Or did we just? Oh, we got Mike Bush in particular, who is a pretty handy guy to have around for a while. So, anyways, Mitch Couples wants $15 million. He's been a fantastic player year in and year out. We're gonna keep him around. That's an easy option. Chris Lane was not nearly as good in year two as he was in year one. If we look at his peripherals, it looks like he started walking people, and that's almost entirely it. That can't be right. His whip is higher, but his walks are high. I wish hits per nine was on this. Let's take a look at that actually. If we look at hits per nine, we're up a little bit. Not by a huge amount. He actually struck out more people. Yeah, his SIP is right about the same. It seems like he was maybe unfairly victimized by poor defense last year, would be my guess. Regardless, I think we go ahead and opt out of his contract because I have enough pitchers, or maybe I don't. Maybe we don't do that. Was your BABIP like completely nuts? Is that part of our story here? I think Hans is basic. Yeah, his BABIP was the highest of his career in quite a few years. He's so inexpensive that the only reason to get rid of him would be if we know that somebody else is ready for a bigger role. And I'm not convinced that I know that for a fact. So I think we hang on to him. I think keeping him for one more year is reasonable for sure. Sergio Carrillo is an interesting case study. He's being paid to be not just an ace, but like a Cy Young caliber ace. And he has been a very good pitcher. I'm not complaining about his skills at all. He's also making $40 million, which is a lot of money. So the question becomes, if we void his contract, does he take less money? Or does he want even more money? It says he's low financial ambition, but he's also mega durable. Um, he has had several consecutive seasons of give me around 200 innings. Is it worth opting out to see if he'll take less money? I don't think so. I don't think it's worth the risk. I think we go ahead and execute this option as well. Ernie Jarvis. I mean, I can't opt out of this contract right now. He's too good. He's been too good for too long. There's no real sign of a decline at this stage. Yeah. Does he have any big numbers to go for? 3,000 strikeouts would help him quite a bit. I don't think he's going to get there necessarily this season, but he might. I think we keep him. There's actually kind of a non-decision. I know last episode I told you guys I wanted to think about it before making decisions, but it was actually pretty easy for most of those. We're gonna get a new first base coach, which is amazing. Let's work on that right now. Okay, somebody easygoing would be amazing. But we also want competency. So Chris Herm the Worm, I think, is probably the decision here. He is easygoing, works well with easygoing. He's the problem is he's not great at anything. He's good. He's a quality coach, but I don't know that he actually has that much of an upside. And I would like somebody a bit younger. I would like somebody that could potentially take the top spot at some point, because Scott Hoohan isn't going to be around forever, right? Um, Santo is fantastic, but also struggles with easygoing people, and I don't want that. I don't want to disrupt our clubhouse chemistry. What is your relationship with like actually? Interesting. Only the pitchers would like you. The hitters don't like you very much. That significantly impacts my decision. So we're gonna go and we're gonna grab ourselves a first base coach. I would like to filter by personality, easygoing. And I just want like a really good coach. And I think the answer. So, the question is, do we take Siwon Lee or do we take Manuel Rivera? Let me explain my conundrum here. Manuel Rivera has good relationships with our team. Pretty much every hitter loves him, which means they'll develop better. If we look at Siwon Lee, who's arguably the better overall coach, people are a little bit less excited about him. Apparently, Dan Sutton thinks he's the greatest thing ever. Chase Strumpf, former Charlotte Silverwolf Chase Strumpf. I'm thinking of somebody else. Never mind. Yeah, so the question is, who do we go for? Siwon Lee is just a better coach, but Rivera has that really close relationship with our team that makes him equally valuable. Oh, no, it wasn't. It's CJ Lee is the other one. Sorry. Interesting. CJ Lee is supposed to have good. Oh no, I'm looking at reputation, not relationships. There you go. I was right. It is Rivera. I think it's more important to have a great coach than it is to have somebody who's necessarily going to relate as well to our players. Maybe that's a mistake, but I think for now we offer Siwon Lee a contract and we go from there. I do prefer promoting from within normally. I just don't like that Herm the Worm isn't that great at any one skill. I think he's good all around, and I think he definitely has a future with this franchise. But I don't think that future is necessarily at the major league level, potentially. We'll see though. We'll definitely see. So coaching is dealt with. Last step is our player development. I want Morley to learn a new position. That isn't first base or second base. So let's start with that. I am not. Your arm is kind of shit to be a third base, and I hope that isn't the path that they go. But maybe it is the path that they'll choose, and if that's the case, then that's the case. Okay. That is that decision made. David Lazada, work on your plate discipline, please and thank you. Jorge Armenta is injured, so he can't really work out anyway. Ignacio Tovar, I would love for you to work on your plate discipline. Let's double check the major league level. Yep, Tovar has already been included there. Jabari Britford, I could actually see starting on this club sooner rather than later. Let's go ahead and get him some work on his control. And then what else do we want? What else pleases me? I'm gonna go back to the true prospects and give them some reps. I don't think Armenta can work while he's injured, right? Yeah, he can. That's what I figured. Let's get Brockman to work on plate discipline. And let's get Kamar Vaughns to work on plate discipline as well. There we go. Done. Morley getting a new position is going to be key. He's way too good overall to not be given an important assignment, but I need him to be in a position where I can actually use him. Should something... Hang on a second. Okay. Should something happen to our good friend Darren Heil, I do want him available to fill that role, but I also don't want Darren Heil to be injured. Like, that's the ideal scenario. Okay. Let's talk to people about stuff. Arbitration. I have to fish or cut bait when it comes to Carmona. I think Juan Carmona is an excellent pitcher. He is genuinely a very good pitcher. But his stamina is not the best. He doesn't throw nearly as many innings as I would like to see if I had my druthers. But you can't really deny that he's been effective. He's been an effective starter now for 5 consecutive seasons. He's a good candidate to be signed long term. Is that the route that I'm going to go? Possibly. Interesting. I'm gonna come back to Carmona. It's not a question of whether I'm gonna keep him for next year. I will. It's a question of whether I sign him long term. Okay. Mike Boardman is getting awfully big for his britches, but he's also been a pretty solid reliever now for a few years. I think keeping him around is reasonable. I think it's a reasonable request from a reasonable pitcher. Let's go. Nope. All right. Mr. Ivanic here has so much raw potential that he just hasn't ever quite tapped into in a couple of seasons. I think he easily sticks around, especially given how modest his salary requirements are. Billy Pickering. Here's my issue with Billy Pickering. There was a time, you let me know what's real and lying down below. No, wait a minute, wrong thing. There was a time I considered him actually a starter that was worth keeping, and ever since his injury, his stamina has disappeared. He's still a good pitcher, but I don't think he's 9 million a year good. I'm gonna try to trade him real fast. If nobody takes him, I will happily non-tender him because I'm not paying him $9 million. That's categorically absurd. He's not worth it. See ya, Pickren. Daniel Roca is an incredible pitcher, and I know he suffered a little bit last season, but he's still really, really good. I think Mr. Roca is more than worthy of a contract extension. Another easy decision. Now, is Jeff Schuma worthy of a longer term deal? First of all, 17th round draft picks generally don't become all stars, which he technically isn't yet. That is a fair statement. But does have 2 World Series rings on his fingers, so here's my beef with Schuma. He's not the defender he once was. He's gone from being like, if we look career wise, he was an awesome defender last year. This year, fine. Not bad, but fine. And I wonder if his defensive decline is part of the reason why so many pitchers seem to have had setbacks. Because they didn't have him running down all their fly balls. Um, he's got tremendous power and a good batting eye. And he's relatively fast, too. He's a good player no matter where he plays, but he's less valuable if he can't start in center every day. I'm not overwhelmed with options for people that could start in center field every day, though, is the question. Like Devon Delliston here, not a center fielder. He's a corner guy. Nothing wrong with that, but that's the kind of situation we find ourselves in. I think it is worth it to keep him around for one more year. I don't know that I'm gonna get bullied in paying him like $15 million a year over 10 years, but I am not opposed to him sticking around. So this brings us back to Carmona. And now, here's the thing about time. It only goes in one direction. Ernie Jarvis is not getting any younger. Sergio Carrillo not getting any younger. God, I wish Casey Choate was getting younger, but that's a problem for another time. I think we have to give Carmona his longer term extension. But I don't think we have to take the one he's offering. Um, if he opts out, am I okay with that? Probably. I want a team option in 2051. I also want one in 2052. This is what I'm looking for. And you may be asking yourselves, why do I want these team options? Because if he's not opting out, it's because he doesn't think he can make more money. That's how opt outs work. And I want the option to get out of the contract if that's what we're talking about here. Because he'll take this and because he has been so durable, I think we submit the offer and we accept it. He's getting paid a lot of money, but it's hard to argue that he's not worth it. I'd like for him to be even a little bit more durable than he is right now, but this keeps the big three together, which was a major objective of mine going into this offseason. I am completely full up here on mid-tier players. I think making some trades is probably reasonable. Because if we look at my Rule 5 eligibles list, there's some excellent players here that are eligible for the Rule 5. And I feel like I have to keep these guys over some other nerds. So Weinman is really, really good defensively. So is Moores. Morse isn't really, really good. He is good. I think Wyman doesn't stick around. I think he gets waived. So let's make that happen. And then Mr. Garrett Moores gets added to the 40-man to protect him. We're going to lose Pickren anyway, so that'll be another spot that opens up. So it's something to think about. Joe Bach is just a really talented infielder that I think needs to be given a prominent role on this franchise. Chris Mossbacher is also good, so he's not the one to get rid of. I think Buen Rostro is. I don't want yet another second baseman who can only play second base. I just think that's an uninteresting direction to go in. I've never seen a guy categorize a DH before, but you know what? I'm into it. We can potentially figure something out with him, I guess. Maybe Bobby Pope is a better choice because he can at least handle himself in the infield. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, this isn't a trade about who's the most amazing player. It's a trade about how do I free up room for Joe Bach. Devon Delliston, I think we trade. Is that true? I don't think I have so many high quality outfielders that I can afford to give him away for, a crisp dollar bill. Im is important because he's the only guy that I trust to play center field in this franchise. Um, Mike Wood. Mike Woods. I feel like Woods actually is a better trade candidate. I think somebody is gonna get pie-eyed about his bat and or his ability to pitch and offer something interesting. No, nobody wants him at all. If nobody wants to take him in trade, I'm happy to just let him hit the Rule 5 market. But Delliston, not so much. Steve Pratt is really good defensively, so he's worth keeping around. I mean, who comes off the roster though? Maybe we just release Pickren and save everyone some time and heartache. Add Delliston. There we go. David Burgos is nothing special. David Burgos is next man up. If I wanted to keep Mike Woods quite desperately, that's probably what I'd do. Tim Wood is a really good center fielder with pretty good bat skills. I think we shed Burgos for him. I like that a lot. I know this is basically starting so I can't take anyone in the Rule 5, and I can't sign any free agents. That's probably an issue that I'm gonna have to come to grips with because I do want to do both of those things. But for right now, I think we're okay. For right now, I think we just advance some time a little bit and see where things get us. Losing Billy Pickren doesn't really bother me that much. We weren't ever going to spend a lot of money to keep him because he's just not worth it. Um, I think we're okay. C1 Lee has been made a more attractive offer. I will happily give you 300 grand. I think that is a reasonable sum of money. National amateurs, yep. Shumo sticks around. Carmona is ecstatic. He took the big deal. I knew he would. Cool. I'm only advancing one day because. All right, are you still thinking about stuff, or have you already taken a new job? You've already taken a new job as a manager with the Buffalo Bisons. That's fine. I wish you had just told me you weren't going to take the deal, but whatever, fucker. Burn in hell. I hope the Bisons lose 10,000 games every season. I could go with Mr. Strumpf here, and I think that's honestly the best alternative. Let's do that. Oh no, Chase Strumpf was in our other series. I think we had him briefly in our Pittsburgh Pirates series. Uh, he's down with it. Nice. And we did it. Let's quickly step in here and set our staff roles. Um, Strump is an outstanding outfield teacher, so we'll give him that, which then lets me use Bobby Seymour to teach base running. No, that's a lie. Strumpf teaches base running. You teach catching. Yep, this is the best. This is the best deal here. Bobby Seymour is going to learn how to be a manager because chances are pretty high because of how young he is. He could be my next manager, and I don't think it's unrealistic to believe that that would happen in the next year or two. So, wish she had a better relationship with our hitters. That does make me a little bit sad, but that's okay. Maybe those will develop over time. Both Burgos and Wyman are gonna go. I'm not surprised. Not even a little bit. Um, I really don't want Sutton starting, but Sutton has actually proven to be a competent starting pitcher, so I can't exactly fault him. I mean, the man was worth 5 wins last season. No, sorry, 4 wins. Just a little bit less of it as a catcher. I wish we didn't have Casey Choate anymore. I wish anybody would take him because he is comically overpaid. This is such a bad choice. I think of my many free agents, my many contract extensions, has to rank as one of my worst. Hmm. What do I want in free agency? Is there anything realistic that we could acquire in free agency to move the needle on this current club? I don't think so. I don't think there's an obvious hole on this team where I'm going, yes, get this fucker off my team. I need somebody more competent. Um, yeah. Do we get any cool awards? We got some KBO guys posted. Anybody good? Not super good. Hyunsu Yoon is decent, but not really decent enough for me to part with any money for him. We did get a Silver Slugger. It looks like that was Mitch Couples, and that was the only award we won last season. Disappointing, but not unexpected. All right, let's talk free agents. I mean, hi. Um, hi. A 25-year-old ace level starting pitcher who still has room to grow but is already elite. I mean, who also, by the way, has no draft pick compensation. Let's get it done. I will find a way to make room for you on my roster. I don't care who I have to cut, who I have to release. This is such an obvious big brain play that I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I have to activate Jeffrey Craig. I will for now. I literally have to make room on the 40 man for him. Mm, Chris Wiggins is nothing special. We can sneak him through waivers just to put Jeffrey Craig on the roster for now. Craig has a non-zero shot of being a starting center fielder, although I don't like his defense. Actually, he might be somebody we trade. If we get our new Japanese friend, we can only hope. Like Miyahira is going to be talking to everybody. Like it's just not up for debate. He's going to talk to everybody. I don't like that we haven't heard back from him yet. That makes me sad. But maybe he's just thinking. Maybe he's just I want to make the best decision for me and my family, which is coming to Charlotte, North Carolina to pitch for the Silver Wolves. It's obvious, right? Who wouldn't want to come here? No, I've never been to North Carolina in my entire life. That's not true. I have been to Charlotte, but only been to the airport. Definitely Steve Callahan is 1,000% a Hall of Famer. Max Clark. I guess you can go for Orion Kirkering. His name is stupid, but no, not everybody is perfect. Definitely voting for Bobby Wick Jr. He should have made it a while ago, in my opinion. Um, this is so bizarre how few people are getting decent voting, which I thought would be a shoe-in. I will vote for Eric Heiss. I will vote for Andy Giacoletto, obviously. I'll vote for our old friend Amari Eo because, quite frankly, I don't think it matters. If Max Clark has needed 4 years to get into the Hall of Fame, despite his overwhelming abilities, I think the rest of us are just in a lot of trouble, right? Um, Jackson Chorio 100% deserves it. He just probably won't make it. Probably by now everyone's heard the Baseball Hall of Fame news about who got in. Ichiro, Billy Wagner, and who was the third person? Come on, brain, you know better than that. CC Sabathia. And the whole furor over who didn't vote for Ichiro, why wasn't it unanimous? I'm on record talking about why. I think there's an argument you can that can be made that he certainly is a Hall of Famer. I think you have to give him credit for Japan because it's not his fault he was forced to play in Japan by some of the rules of the time. And he's the hit king. He has hit more hits than any other player in the history of Major League Baseball if you include his time in Japan. If you want to get all pissy with me and say, oh, but what about minor league stats? Grr, 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 grr. Whatever, bro. Whatever makes you happy. That's not the argument. The argument is that he didn't draw very many walks. He didn't have a whole lot of power. And while he had great contact and defense and pretty good base running, he wasn't as valuable as some of his contemporaries. That doesn't make him not a Hall of Famer, but I get why somebody might have chosen to leave him off their ballot in a strategic decision to vote for somebody else. Um, yeah. Morley, you pig fucker. I don't know what your major malfunction is, but you should be learning new positions. I don't want him playing center. That's ridiculous, but I also don't hate it. Can we please just let me have my scouting director and not Rando McGee? Yeah, Morley, no bueno. What if you had in fact gotten better position on second base? He's putting me in a really uncomfortable position where Morley is way too good to keep in the minors, but he's also not good enough to make the majors with my current setup. What else could we do? Is there another path that gets Darren Heil? Hmm. Darren Heil's so stinking good. He is the heart and soul of this offense. He's not going anywhere. Morley can play first to base, but Andy Gillens isn't going anywhere. I mean, maybe he should. Maybe this is the solution, is getting rid of Andy Gillens. I don't know. I could just start him and like force him to play like right field or something during spring training. Does he have any outfield chops whatsoever? Not at all. Yeah, with your rag arm, you can literally only play second base or first base. Both positions that I have people locked up in. Is there a path for regular playing time that we can invent for Mr. Morley? Or do we just trade him? He's such a great all around hitter, though. Like, he's better all around than Gillens is. I don't know why Gillens is rated higher. Maybe it's just because his raw power is higher and power is greatly valued. RJ Morley is a major league ready second baseman. I know that legally I can keep him in the minors as long as I want. But he's so good that I don't want to keep him in the minors. I just have nowhere to play him. Because he's damn sure not pushing aside Heil, and I don't have anywhere else to play Gillens. I mean, I guess we could just entirely punt on outfield defense and put Gillens out in left field. Maybe that's the path forward. We play Gillens in left and play Morley at first. I feel like trading him just to trade him right now is silly and doesn't actually achieve the objective we're trying to achieve. All right. He likes us, guys. He really likes us. All right. I will get into a proper bidding war for you. You're that good. Like, if I can afford you, I will go after you. And I will make the contracts work. Um, yeah. The amount of money a player of that caliber who happens to be a 25-year-old pitcher is worth is nearly limitless. Like, imagine if Roki Sasaki actually went through a competitive free agent bidding process and not the international free agency process, which is just not competitive because people are limited. I mean, he probably would play with the Dodgers anyway, but at least we would have made him pay for it, right? The Dodgers can't sign everybody, can they? Maybe they can. Hmm. Miyahira, I hear that you want to push the market, and I respect that, but you should just sign with me. It's the smart play. It's what all the cool kids would do if given the opportunity. They'd be like, I want to play for you. And I'd be like, you're damn right you do. Um would literally anybody give me anything for Choate just out of curiosity? No. Okay. That's fair. There's a scenario where Valiant has to start for me, and so I would rather just not participate in the Rule 5 this year. I don't want to make room unless I'm getting somebody that's genuinely better than anything that I've got. So I'm just going to autocomplete, and the chips can fall where they may. We lost Luis Coroa. How do you look so much better with the Cubs than you did with me? And Arturo Oliva. Oliva, I was kind of expecting would go somewhere else. Coroa, I'm a little sad about. I'm not like ultra sad about it, but I'm a little sad about it. Um, he's a guy who has no power. I want to see how he does, and I hope he does well in the major leagues, but I don't like his chances. Me here, my beloved. Fine. Mm, you're causing me pain, my friend. I get it. It is very difficult to argue that he is not worth it. But yeah. I'm getting taken to the fucking woodshed by this guy. Offer contract. $50 million a year. Oh my lord. So here's the thing. If I offer him this contract and he says no, I quite literally cannot offer him any more money. So let's get into the gamesmanship of this, right? There is a future where I offer him this and he tells me no. Okay, great. Sad, but whatever. I have just increased the price for somebody else to sign him. That is money they cannot spend on people that I find of interest. I think we do it. I think we do it. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. And I come to grips with that, and we live the rest of our lives knowing that we did what we could. But a 25-year-old ace with that kind of arm and that raw talent is just something you don't pass up on if you can make it happen. It may very well be that I can't make it happen. But yeah, this could either be the best phrasing decision I've ever made or the most comically stupid one. But we won't know until he actually makes his decision. This is apocryphal by that. That scouting report on Fidel Castro never happened, as far as we know. Heiss, Callahan, and Witt all made the Hall of Fame. Tatis was dropped. That's fine. Jacques Leto is dropping in his voter share. I have a feeling he's not going to make the Hall of Fame, which makes me sad, but is not unexpected. I think his career just ended a little bit too soon. You know? I quite literally cannot increase your salary. So enjoy playing for whomever you play. I cannot afford that. It cannot be done. Which sucks. It makes me sad, but I cannot afford that. We could go with somebody like Hyung-Kook Kim. That's got some potential on it. Um, he's a little bit older, but he's not a starter. He's a reliever who wants to get paid like a starter. Duly noted. I don't know what fever dreams will make Chris Cram a starter, but I'm not going to participate in it. Yeah. If I can't get Miyahira, I'm not going to bother signing any kind of pitcher. Which is fine. I mean, it is his right to sign for as much money as he thinks somebody will offer him. But I'm not going to be the one to make that deal for him. I just don't have the money. He signed with Washington. How much money did he get from Washington? $55 million a year. You know what? I want to see how this fucker does. I want to see how he does. I've got all this money to use for free agents. It would feel criminal not to spend it, but I don't even know what I'd want. I don't think there's anybody good left. I think we devoted too much time and energy to the Miyahira chase. Um, Mr. Kim wants an 8-year contract. That's comical. I would give him a 1-year contract. I don't think he's good enough. I don't even think he has the raw talent that I'm looking for, especially arm talent, to be given a contract with me. I just don't think that's a place that I'm willing to go right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am wrong. We could bring Nate Quinn back. I don't think that we will. Eric Anfuso's still hanging out. We can offer him a minor league deal. I'm comfortable with that. We can offer some minor league deals just for fun. John Gertner is not an interesting hitter. I mean, I guess he doesn't cost me anything. I don't mind, but I doubt he's going to have much of a role. I'm a little bummed out we couldn't get Miyahira. I think we were doomed from the start, but at least we drove up his price nice and high so that nobody's going to get the most value out of him, which makes me feel he's a little bit better. We could get Bobby Weinman back if we offered him a minor league contract option. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just don't think Kim is a guy I'm willing to pay for more than 1 year. And I'm only willing to pay him for 1 year because I don't know what my rotation looks like this year. But I think I have enough interesting pitchers in the minor leagues that it's fine. Oh, the Dodgers signed Kim. Good for them. Mm. I'm a little disappointed. Mia Hira signing with Washington makes me sad. Um, but it is so incredibly rare that a player of that raw caliber makes the free agent market that it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that he cost me would have cost me too much money. Um, yeah, it's fine. Jeffrey Craig will be back in 3 days. That's fantastic. We love that for us, for ourselves here. How does Sergio Carrillo just randomly add a fastball that he's never thrown before? He's like, oh yeah, if I just throw the ball real hard, good stuff will happen. You know what, bro? I'm in favor. I am in favor. Yeah, this is. It wasn't the most exciting off season. I know that. And I apologize from a pure entertainment value. We're just in a situation where maintaining what we've got is more important than going after something new necessarily. And our minor league system is really well developed. And I signed no international amateurs this year. Campazano is a pretty damn good relief pitcher. Let's go after him, I guess. I'm fucking stupid, guys. I completely forgot about that. He's a really good pitcher, though. Good velocity, great mix of pitches. He's what you look for, right? What if I offered you $2.8 million? And what if I then turned around and offered Jesus Flores some money as well? What if I got two international amateurs? What if that happened? I cannot offer you that much money because I don't have the room for it. Sad. Luis Flores is an okay consolation prize, I guess, if I'm really wanting two people. Alright. Spring training invites got anybody in particular? Skenandore is fine. Lampman is fine. Um, Osborne, Medina, and Lee. Pinkskin, Mireles. And I think that's fine. This is a pretty busy minor league invite roster, so we're definitely gonna let people get by however they want. Let's get after it. I still think that's interesting. Wow. Nobody improved except for Lozada. What the fuck, guys? What the actual fuck? I'm disappointed. Flores, you know what? I would offer you slightly more money, but I cannot, so I will wish you well with Miami instead. I'd rather have the relief pitcher personally. I think a great young bullpen guy could really help us in the future. I must have signed him because I didn't get an email from him. Dear Dr. Avgardian. Oh, sorry, it's a Mick Avgardian. Is the name I went with this time. Okay. Okay. You know how we could have gotten Mihira if we didn't have fucking Casey Choate? I did get Campazano, so that's sweet. I like that a lot. Nothing too wild has happened here. There's some nice improvements in various places. We definitely love Chris Akoff now for some reason. I'm here for that. Kamar Vaughn's just cratered. That's it is saddening, but it is acceptable. All right, let's go up to the day before opening day, and then we'll see what kind of roster we're looking at. I am really bummed out, by the way, that we didn't get um Miyahira, but that's fine. Dan Sutton, I think, is just done. I really am struggling to find a future for him with this club because he's just too injury prone. He is playing two incredibly challenging positions regularly. It's just not realistic. I think he either needs to commit to one or the other, or we need to find a way to move on from him and let somebody else deal with his bullshit. Yeah. I think the Morley situation is one I'm gonna have to give a lot of thought to because I don't know what the answer is. I wish I did know what the answer is, but I don't know. Oh, play to the 20th, please. And then I can start setting up the roster. Okay. Um oh wow. I'm so sorry, bro. I would have sent you to the minor leagues, but you've got all my hopes for a successful recovery. 23 pitchers is too many pitchers. Osborne to the minors. Valiant, we might keep. We'll see. Weber to the minors. Um, Lampman to the minors. Vargas and Vega to the minors. What am I at now? I'm at 17 pitchers. Still got to get rid of more of them. Wilson to the minors. Golden Corral to the minors. Valiant to the minors. I'm gonna try to trade him really quick. I don't know that there's a huge market for him, but I think it's at least worth a shot. I'd love to get a green player, but I don't want to get somebody I have to put on the 40 man necessarily, unless it's somebody that could start. And Andres Ortega does not have a role in this offense, so that's all right. Honestly, a 45 caliber starting pitcher is pretty solid. If I could get Ruffolo and Clark, I would take it. If I would get Mark Ruffalo, the Incredible Hulk, I would accept it. But if I asked for Santiago Flores, how hard would you laugh in my face? Sweet nothings in his ear. Aww. I mean, I'm serious, but also not very serious. Francis Castro is decent, but I have a feeling they're probably going to tell me no. And I'm not willing to part with any of these guys to make it happen. So, no, we don't do that. I don't want to spend too much time negotiating. Yeah, I will ask for Alpha Vilmi, and if I don't get it, then I'm not willing to. I'm not gonna. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. All right, that's Valiant dealt with. Um, all right. I do wanna shortlist him. I want to see how he does off of my roster. Oh, he already is. Brilliant. Okay. All right. I am now sitting at 14 players. I do not need 14 players. I need Oh, Skenadore is also a pitcher. That'll get rid of that situation. 13 pitchers is too many, but I'm also not sure what's going to happen with Brickford. So I think we let this one go for the moment and focus on getting down for position players. All right, so Garrett Morris gets to make the opening day roster. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Pinkston goes. Bach goes. Medina goes. Akoff goes. Pratt goes. I don't think Mentz is worth keeping anymore. I think we designate him for assignment. So I gotta go to 5 more players. No, sorry, 6 more players. Delliston is really good, and he's already like a finished product. I think he stays in the majors. Wood goes to the minors. I think Tovar goes to the minors. I think letting a good swing experience in the high minors is actually pretty useful. Um, I think we keep Mossbacher. I think that happens. Yeah, Im isn't that great at center field. What if we traded him? What if that was the thing that I legally did? What if I offered him up to another team? Nobody wants him, I will waive him. Um Zapata would be an obvious player to get rid of. I don't want to cut him because I think the fans would hate me forever. And he is still good for leadership purposes, so I think he stays. Um an infielder has to go. An infielder must go. And the thing is, I think it's Mossbacher. Does anybody want him? Is anybody willing to trade for him? Probably not, but maybe. No. Yeah, the Mr. Mossbacher, you get waived. Um, I think Sam Sexton goes to the minor leagues. I think I think I think Jeffrey Craig goes to the minor leagues. Right? Yeah, he does. He goes to the minor leagues. All right, that's our opening day roster. Let's advance up to opening day and see if we can find out what's going to happen with that one guy. They should have been trying to Heil a different position. Maybe that was my path forward. I don't know. Burfield is out for 3 months. Well, fuck. I guess him is Jeffrey Craig gets to come back. Because Jeffrey Craig instantly comes in as our 5th starter. Um Really, Roca can't close? Who says? Why would Mike Boardman be the closer? I don't know. Curious. Okay. So what does this team look like this year? This is basically last year's lineup with a couple of minor exceptions. First of all, Devon Delson is playing center field for some fucking reason. What? Really? Really? No, I don't think that's happening. No, we're gonna play a game. And that game is called Start Shumo in center field. Because I am not allowing you to start anyone else in center field. That's just stupid. I don't mind if you want to put Delson in the lineup, go like get after it, but he is 10,000% playing center field. Like Delson is actively a terrible center fielder, so no thank you. Oh, this is basically last year's starting lineup with one exception, which is Tommy Einberger starting in right field as opposed to Sergio Zapata, which I think is correct. I think it is the correct decision. Zapata just isn't the same guy anymore, and I like the idea of him coming off the bench when we need him rather than playing every single day. Hey, you want to play Delson in right field? Go for it. I just don't want you playing him at center, which he clearly cannot handle. Let's actually confirm that. Who is our opening day? If we look at reports and info and we look at position register, not positional rankings, game position batters register. Nope, that's not it. It is positional starters. I had it confused. Yeah, so we basically had this exact lineup, but with Einberger's substituting for Zapata. Um, I don't think that's fine, right? Like I think that's the correct decision. Um, I don't really have any arguments about that. Starting rotations up, David Yeski, who you may recall we acquired last season in a trade with Colorado, is going to be a good chance to start. I have big expectations for him. Uh, we gave up some decent stuff for him, specifically Alfredo Caballero, but I am reasonably chuffed that he's going to turn out to be a great starting pitcher. Jeffrey Craig is going to start, I guess, and then the bullpen is basically last year's. Not a ton of changes, but there's a lot of pressure on Yeski or Jeski or Jeskier, depending on if he is in fact one of the bards from The Witcher. There's a lot of pressure on his right arm. Jeffrey Craig doesn't have to be a genius pitcher; he just has to be good enough. And I think he is capable of that. I think he's an Ernie Jarvis style starting pitcher. I'd almost rather he not hit at all, but I'm willing to let him give it a try. And then this lineup is still very fearsome. If we look at our depth chart here, I want to see how we're playing Morley. We're not playing Morley at all. Zapata every 5 games is an interesting take. I agree with. We are playing Morley at first base with some frequency, and I think that's the right call as well. Right this second, Gillens is better than Morley. Is that going to be true in a season or two? I don't know the answer to that. So we have rookies playing important roles. Moores is our backup catcher. Morley is our backup first baseman. And Yeski is a pretty important role out of the rotation. Einberger technically isn't a rookie anymore, but he's basically a rookie, right? Like he's barely played in the majors. This concerns me about him. This right here. Is he going to get enough secondary offensive characteristics to stick in the major leagues? I think that is far from a sure thing. But we will track his development and we will see how he performs and we will be ruthless with him if needed. Yeah. I don't love Boardman closing over Rocca. I don't mind if we put him in a different role. I just question why we wouldn't let the best pitcher be the closer, but whatever, bro. Do as you wish. I shan't stand in your way. Bomers is another guy that concerns me. I worry that the day will come when he can't justify his bat, and then he will become a far less attractive signing. But for now, though, this has been Out Guardian. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you're not already. And I bid you good day.